Hey everybody, welcome to Visual Communication in the Media. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you, and welcome. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first term of your first quarter of 2026. And I'm really excited to have you for the next 5.5 weeks. It's going to be really awesome, and I know a lot of you are probably wondering, well, visual communication, why does this tie to my program? I'm not doing very much design, or I'm not doing a lot of things that are built specifically for this industry. I'm just being taught other things like how to be the greatest nurse in the world, or trying to understand code, or trying to understand a lot of different things. Let me tell you something, no matter what industry that you're in and what aspect that you do, you will use visuals no matter what. We as humans communicate 80% of our communication through visuals and through signs and symbols and written words a lot of times. How things are designed, not just from an aesthetic point of view, but from a functional point as well, is super important because every industry uses visuals. For example, I know as nurses, a lot of them use codes and colors to negotiate different emergencies in a lot of different areas. A lot of times it's done through some type of visual system that the alarm pops up or they announce it over, but those words, those letters, and those colors have specific meanings to them. And when we see them visually, it's important to communicate that. How to communicate better in your partners and different people that you work with. It can all work better if you understand visuals in a lot of ways. Now, yeah, you might not be designing stuff, but you're going to use visuals in some aspect to really promote what you're working on, and that's what really matters. Again, my name is Adam Rozeski. I am really privileged to hang out with y'all for the next 5.5 weeks to really show you how visuals are utilized in more ways than one. But just a little bit of a background. I got my first bachelor's degree or my associate's degree at Penn State University when I was playing college hockey up there before I tore my knees out. I got an associate's degree. I didn't get finished my bachelor's because my brother had brain surgery, and I worked for my dad in the airlines for a while doing a lot of groundwork. But I was a big gamer at the time. I went to a lot of video game tournaments in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. But again, this was still kind of fresh. Esports wasn't really a big thing at the time, but it was there for PC games like StarCraft and a lot of MMOs that played like World of Warcraft, Battlefront. I also played EverQuest, Lord of the Rings, Aeon, Star Wars: Galaxies, and Star Wars: The Old Republic. I was a big player versus player on that. And I also did driving simulators as well, like Gran Turismo, so that was really big. But I wanted to get into video games somehow, so I ended up getting my bachelor's in entertainment business, and I double mastered in project management and game design. And I worked for a lot of cool studios like GP Games, Activision, EA. I started off as a tester and worked my way up to a senior producer and a director of project development. And that today I ended up working for the military for Universal Studios. I now teach high school, and I do some consultant work through my consultant company, and I do contractors work as well. So pretty much I've worked over about 40 games in my career. Some of them you may know, like Madden. I worked on NCAA. I worked on Dragon Age Inquisition. I worked on Star Wars Battlefront. I've bounced around. I worked on Sims, SimCity, Plants vs. Zombies. I've been in a lot of franchises and worked on a lot of small studios too. I helped raise a lot of small studios as well. So I know what it means to communicate something visually to someone because a lot of times as a game designer, I was not there to tell you how to do the game. I can't be there to teach you. So I have to create visuals to understand how you can utilize this video game system or to utilize this technical system. And that's what I'm used to doing in a lot of my career, and I ended up leading big teams because of it. And so now I teach high school and I do some consultant work on the side, and I also teach college as well. I've been doing this for about 11 years, I think, at Rasmussen, so I've been around for a little bit. But that's just a little bit about me. If you're curious about the video game industry or anything, I'd be happy to help you out in any way possible. But for visual communication, I have 3 types of assignments. There are discussions, written assignments, and live lectures, and they all have kind of their own thing. So discussions are always going to be initial posts on Tuesday, reply posts on Saturday, except for week one. Week one, everything will be due on Saturday this week because y'all are just getting back into the flow of things and everything, so I'm fine with that. But the last day for class, keep in mind, for first term is always going to be the Tuesday of the 6th week. It's a really short week, so keep in mind because you move into the next set of classes the next term. So February 10th is our last day. I'm always going to post the rubrics on the announcements, and I'm always going to post any type of information on the class announcements, which will always be there. And I posted some announcements already to kind of get you all started in my class section. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. And I've also opened the Teams channel as well, and all the information is on your announcements. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to holler. I'm here to help you out. Also, we have written assignments as well. These are pretty big. They're kind of like projects in a way. They're always going to be due on Sunday, no matter what, except for the final week on week 6 is Tuesday, so it'll be Tuesday evening. And all my due dates are set to Eastern time, so if it says 12:59 p.m. For your time, if you're in Central or if you're in Eastern, that's because everything's set to Central because the home base or Rasmussen is a Central time. So I set everything on Eastern because that'll be it. So if you see those due dates like that, just keep in mind that's really important for that. So other than that, discussions and written assignments, also something I do with this is I have unlimited turn-ins. So because I give a lot of thorough feedback, and if you correct your feedback and give me versions of it, as long as they address the feedback and come better and better, I'll let you turn it in as many times as you want to until you get the result that you want. So keep that in mind. If you don't do well on a grade, you can always turn it in and update it, and I'll update the grade if you improve it. That's what's really important about that. And then finally, we have live lectures. This is the one thing I'm not lenient on because it's tied to your attendance. They're always going to be on Monday except for week 1 and week 6. They're always going to be at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. That way you have the whole week to work with it, and it's perfect. Except for week 1. Week 1's going to be Tuesday because same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, or 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. All the links are posted where to communicate on the announcements, and I also put them on your live lecture assignments. There should be a link to those specific lectures as well when you're ready to do them and stuff, and where you can find the recordings at. That's what's really important. Also, there's a lecture schedule on Blackboard itself on the bottom right in the main page, so keep that in mind. But this is one thing I'm not lenient. It's also something I focus on a lot. If live lectures are pass-fail, I'll show you how to record them and do them properly in Lecture 1 on Tuesday, but they're pass-fail, so please make sure you turn them in on time, because if they're not turned in on time, they're automatic 0 because it's tied to your attendance. So please make sure that you do your live lecture assignments. It's real easy to do that, and it's going to record your attendance by you doing your live lecture assignment and answering it correctly. That's going to be the big thing. But if you miss a lecture, it's okay. I know people have multiple jobs. I have multiple jobs. I also have 2 kids. One's a 19-year-old. One's almost going to be a 4-year-old. There's a lot of things going on. So if you miss it, do not worry. I also post recordings, and I usually post it right after I have the lecture. So it's already available to you Monday night or whenever. But the 2 lectures that are not going to be on Monday is going to be week 1, which will be Tuesday, and week 6, which will actually be the Sunday of week 5. Because I want y'all to not worry about a lecture on Monday and Tuesday for that last week, because you're going to have a lot of other classes going on, and I don't want them to intersect with a lot of things. I'm pretty sure they're going to have lectures too, and so I just want to make it easier for y'all, so I'll have my lecture on Sunday. So that way, easy piece of cake, and that'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern. So right in the morning, dunzo, and then you have it right off the bat. Other than that, that's pretty much it, but I'll show you how to record your live lectures on Tuesday for Lecture 1, so keep in mind. And check the announcements, everything will be located on there as well. I also post the rubrics for the written assignments as well. That's a big thing. Alright, now finally, class expectations, keep in mind, late assignments are 5% of the grade each day they are late. Alright, once it gets to 7 days, that's an automatic 0. Just communicate with me if you're going to miss an assignment. Now, no, live lectures can't be made up, and that's fine, unless like there's a dire emergency going on, then I'll work with you. Just contact me. The biggest thing I ask is just communicate with me what's going on. Don't wait till like week 5 or week 6 to be like, oh, I want to turn in all these assignments in, I want to do all my live lectures, because those are not going to pass. Talk to me within at least a day or 2 or something that's going on. I know emergencies happen, but don't wait a few weeks to tell me this stuff and everything. Like, communicate it with me, and I'll work with you on the schedule. I'll help you out, and I'll do anything I can to make sure that all your assignments get turned in and everything's perfect. So I want to make sure I help you out. Just make sure you don't wait till like the last week of week 5 or 6, and then you have nothing done, and then you're like, well, I want to turn in everything at once. that's going to be crazy to work with. So please don't get behind that far. It'll help you a lot if you just communicate to me what you need at any time possible. Another big thing is we give a lot of feedback in our discussion posts and everything. I want you to be thorough on your discussions and be respectful when you give feedback to your classmates. That's the biggest thing. And what I mean by thorough is for your discussion assignments, I don't want 1 to 2 sentences. I want at least 2 paragraphs, 4 to 5 sentences a piece for each paragraph. And I'm talking for each post, all right? So by the end of it, I ask for 1 initial post and 1 reply post. You should have 2 paragraphs for each post, which is 4 paragraphs total. There should be at least 8 to 10 sentences for each of those posts because I want some detail and some examples added into it, because I've seen people just type in a couple words and it just doesn't do anything. So I want it as thorough as possible, so you thought about the stuff that you're asked for. And then finally, just I hope you discover and have some fun and realize that there's a lot to visual communication that you could apply to your own industry and do the own things that you're doing. So that's what really matters with that. So again, my name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. I'm really excited to have you all here. It's going to be a blast. Again, hope to see y'all soon. All right, take it easy. Take a look at my announcements for any other questions. If you need anything, of course, message me. That's all I got. Be safe, have fun, enjoy. Happy New Year. Welcome to class.